The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 4 deadline stream. What do they say? Better late than never. I'm finally live at 9:05. I was up late, as you can imagine, and then just had to take the dog for a walk this morning. I had to walk myself as well. Always feel better after a walk, and I wanted to get that in, so I was struggling to get ready for 9, but we're ready now. My wildcard is active. The deadline says 2 hours 24 minutes. That's incorrect, surely. Let me just double check that. The deadline's 11 a.m., right? Yes, 11 a.m. Why is that incorrect? Let me just double check something a second. That's going to be pretty annoying. I don't think I can fix that. Hang on a sec. Oh, okay. What if I do this? I don't think it's going to work. I don't think I can update the deadline timer. That's freaking annoying. Why is it wrong? Let me just... Oh, that's kind of put me off straight away. Hang on a sec. Okay, I don't think I can fix it, which is really annoying. It's kind of automated. But we'll see. Right. What's the date today? 13th. Maybe that will help. Nah, it's not going to let me update it. Okay, the deadline timer is wrong. Freaking annoying. The deadline, I'm going to put it in the bottom, is incorrect time. Okay. What a rubbish start to this deadline. Yeah, I know. Everyone's going to tell me like a million times it's incorrect as well. That's a good idea. I should just probably cover it up, shouldn't I? Christ's sake. I wish I'd noticed that before I came live. Let me just fill this in. Okay. Purple square. Add image. Browse. Honestly, the reduction sometimes is amazing. Can I? Yeah, I can. Okay. Oh, I can't make it bigger though. That's annoying. I think this is the best I can do. Oh, I can probably drag it. There you go. I'm going to have to leave it like that, which is a bit... Oh, I could... Oh, I've just realised I could put the time over the top, can't I? It doesn't matter. I've got the time already. Right, I'm going to have to leave it like that. I can't fix it, and yeah. Is this my final team? No. I mean, the final team will be the final team at the deadline, as always. I'm very tempted to sell Munoz, which honestly, this is the problem with WildCard. I've got most of it correct, but it's always like what are you on about Fabrizio Romano and Cole Palmer? I'm not ready for this stream at all. Fabrizio reckons Aït-Nouri will be out for around 5 weeks with an ankle injury. Why do people keep mentioning Fabrizio Romano and Cole Palmer? Where's he said something about him? Yeah, Palmer might play. I ain't putting Palmer in this wildcard draft now. It's too late for that. Anyway, am I not tempted by 5 at the back wildcard? But what does that mean? Like, I mean, I've got 5 defenders I could play. I could play 4 at the back this week. I'm not going to go like Van Dijk, Gabriel, Munoz. Like, some weeks I'll play 4 at the back. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I might. Oh, now my Honestly, this is the worst deadline stream I think I've ever done, and I won't stream from a car park. Yeah, Munoz potentially downgrade to. Do you know what? I need to. When I'm tinkering with the team, I need to make this smaller. That's really annoying to see, isn't it? But it's just easier for me to do it. So Munoz down to Goodmanson, which puts in a 4 million defender that's quite good. Well, he's okay for bench boost 5. And it just allows me to spend 1.7 million elsewhere. So that would give me money to get Semenyo instead. So like Munoz and Mitoma to Goodmanson and Semenyo is quite tempting. Dewsbury Hall to Josh King. Yeah, Josh King could be a really good option, couldn't he? 4.5. I just know the reason I like Dewsbury Hall is I just know he's going to keep playing. I don't really see an issue. Your team is going to be very spread out. You're not worried you might want a premium. Oh, my voice is going. Which premium though? Because if I want Haaland, it's free hit or I sell Salah. And if I want Cole Palmer, then I'll have to redistribute funds. But I'm probably not, if I don't go for him now, I'm not going to want him until game week 9, I don't think. So, which other premium, you know? Saka, sure. Saka could be Evan Nielsen. The thing is, once game week 5's out of the way, I'll have used my bench boost, so I can do something like Evan Nielsen down to Guiu, which would give me 2.6 million to spend. And then that's Semenyo to Saka, right? So there's options there. Yeah, João Pedro's fine if you want to go for João Pedro. Thoughts on going Reinders over Mateta in free hit? I think that's mad, to be honest. Do you think picks like Reinders, Gabriel is better than Mitoma, Van Dijk in long term, if not for bench boost? Should we compromise our best wildcard on basis the bench boost as it's weak in single gaming? No, I don't. I mean, Reinders over Mitoma maybe long term. I think, like, by the way, I'm not completely happy with the Mitoma pick, but I also think he's being a little bit underrated. This is a guy that scored 10 goals last year in 700 minutes fewer than Semenyo. Semenyo got 11. Like, Mitoma's not a slouch for attacking potential, and his minutes are pretty good. Gabriel over Van Dijk. I do prefer Van Dijk for probably 4, 5, and then even 8 he's okay. Gabriel's better in 7 and 9, but I think I just take the short-term points. Moro, 17 months, thank you. Salah, King, Muniz, or Madueke, Eze, Verts, Ekatike. I'd probably just get Salah, I think. Starting Jai, although, to be honest, the second one's probably better, but Salah captaincy is so big that I would want him. Starting Jai or King. And Jai's a doubt, apparently. I guess you start King. -4, Krupi Bowen to Mateta, triple captain Salah. I probably wouldn't -4 if you can just play Bowen. Juve Palmer and Strand Larsen to Van Dijk, Semenyo and Mateta, 3 free transfers. I mean, that sounds quite nice, although apparently Palmer could be fine, so there is that. Rank 500, would you play Reinders or Kudus? I wouldn't really worry about what your rank is when you make that decision. I think it's probably Kudus for me. Do I not fancy Enzo Fernandez? Not really. Actually, like Chelsea's fixtures over there, you got Man United away next week, Liverpool at home in 7, is it, I think? Is it 7? Yeah, Liverpool at home in 7. Chelsea fixtures aren't amazing in the short term. They're okay. Okay, please, where did Fabrizio say that Cole Palmer is playing? I had a quick look through his timeline just a minute ago, but I don't see anything about that. Everyone keeps saying that Fabrizio Romano said that Palmer is fine. Where is this information? Why is the wildcard not working? Anyone else with the same issue? Not for me, no. Yorkeresh or Ekitike not pushed about price difference. I mean, this week you could argue Ekitike is better, but I think longer term, Yorkeresh is probably the one. Tottenham have got good fixtures, yes. Instagram. Oh, I can't be following people on Instagram as well. Only heard that he was in training. Okay. He added a story after the press conference, but it didn't seem massively detailed or reliable. Okay, I'm just going to ignore it then. Cole Palmer to me is still a doubt, to be honest. I've gone for Gakpo, Salah, Ekitike. Is this good? Definitely good for this week. I was going to wildcard, but I wasn't so happy with the fixtures. Fair enough. Are you getting Haaland for game week 6? Yes, I'll probably free hit. Wildcard in game week 5. Does it work? I haven't looked at a game week 5 wildcard draft. My guess is it's not great. You'd probably want to save it until 6 or 7. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't wildcard in game week 5. You got Liverpool. You got Man City playing Arsenal, right? Palmer and Guiu to Semenyo and Mateta -4 and bench Sarr, or Sarr to Semenyo and start Palmer. Ooh. I'd be tempted to do Sarr to Semenyo and start Palmer if you've got a decent enough bench. Just hope for the best. Talking to Fabrizio, do we think these posts are less reliable now? I'm referring to this, but I don't really check his stuff, if I'm completely honest. There's just so much of it. I just don't bother looking at any of it, to be honest. Wildcard without Munoz is absolutely mental. I don't think so. On a free hit now, wildcard on 6th for now. Yeah, works. Enzo in a wildcard squad, is that okay? Yeah. Why is no one speaking about Eze? Because I just don't think he's guaranteed to start. He probably will instead of Martinelli, but it's not a guarantee. Fabrizio said he trained twice in a row and staff are confident he's ready for the weekend. Nice. Take a -4 to delay the wildcard if it sorts my team. I mean, sure, but I guess you got to ask yourself: are you definitely sure that wildcard's worth more later on? It could well be. Could well be. Voltemada or Evan Nielsen. I must admit, I'm a little bit tempted to go Voltemada as a punt. And I think this week he's really good. It's just you don't quite know what you're going to get with him longer term, whereas you kind of do with Evan Nielsen. I mean, Evan Nielsen's not like a sure thing in terms of goals, but I think he's probably going to go and get like double digits again this season. Since when did Munoz become... No one's essential. On wildcard, do you think Mo and Haaland appealing given enablers? I mean, I'm trying to think of how I would get to Haaland with this team. I'd have to find 5.1 million to go from Yorkeresh to Haaland. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to try and find. So, I mean, I guess I could sell Fernandez to Reinders, potentially. But I'd rather just buy Haaland later for Salah or just free hit Haaland in, I think. Verts, Watkins, and Jai to Salah, Captain, Mateta, Reinders, -4. I don't love it, if I'm honest. Like, trust me, as someone that's wildcarded Verts out, I absolutely hate it. But yeah, I guess to get Salah captain is not bad. Why not cheaper Gay instead of Lacroix? I just think Lacroix is a much better goal threat and better for defensive contributions as well. Salah is not being used like last season. He's been lucky to return points with his 94th minute goal. Maybe Salah is washed. Who is on penalties for Everton if Njai is out? Presumably whoever starts number 9. So Beto or potentially Barry, I guess. Yeremy Pino as a 6 million pick on wildcard. I just, again, I don't quite know what you're going to get with him in terms of minutes and stuff like that. So presumably he comes in now and plays quite a lot. But Kamada played really well last time as one of those number 10s. So once Sarr is back, is Yeremy Pino's minutes like absolutely guaranteed? He's only 6 million, so you could definitely take the punt. I don't hate it. I guess for my wild card, I'm I've got in the back of my mind that I can't wildcard again for a while, right? So I don't want to take too many risks because it could just put me in a position where I'm having to use transfers at a time when I don't want to. Like, another player that's on my mind is Harvey Elliott. Like, could I go from Dewsbury Hall to Harvey Elliott, bench him this week, and then have him for Sunderland in game week 5 for bench boost? And then he also plays Burnley in game week 7 when Paquetá plays Arsenal away. I'm pretty confident that Harvey Elliott starts and his game time is going to be pretty good. But they do have Europe to contend with soon, and they've got quite a few options for those attacking spots now. Like, Sancho is in, Guesson's there as well. Rodgers can obviously play wide and central. I'm going to guess Harvey Elliott just comes straight in and probably keeps his place. There is at least some unknowns there. But he is tempting. He is tempting. Also, in the back of my mind, I suspect at some point I will go back to Mark Guiu, like structure. And if I go back to him and then I've got Harvey Elliott, who I'm not fully confident in minutes and stuff like that, then all of a sudden it becomes a bit of a problem. If I use 1 free transfer in 5, bench boost 5, then free hit 6, how many transfers will I have? Basically, wait, hang on a second. If I use 1 free transfer in 5, bench boost 5, then free hit 6, how many transfers will I have in 7? Well, I don't know how many transfers you've got right now. Basically, however many transfers you've got when you hit the wildcard button or hit the free hit button is the same amount you'll have the week after. So if you had 3 free transfers going into game week 6 and you free hit, you'll have 3 free transfers in game week 7. The problem with Harvey Elliott is he barely plays for Liverpool, still managed to get hurt every season. That's the thing with Europe, right? Like, do I really see Harvey Elliott coming in and playing 80-plus minutes every game with Europe as well? I'm just not as confident, whereas Everton don't have Europe. I just think Dewsbury Hall at 5 is quite nice. It's just, the annoying thing about Dewsbury Hall is I'm weakening my bench boost next week. I did look at Stack as well from Leeds for a better fixture next week, but not so sure about it. Why Yorkresh over Watkins? Just a long-term pick. Honestly, wildcarding Verts out this week and wildcarding Watkins out before Sunderland and Burnley, I can already see it being a disaster. If you've got Watkins, I would not be panic selling him. Like, if I hadn't wildcarded, there's no way I'd be selling Watkins. And I'm not even fully in love with the Yorkresh pick, but I know I want him from game week 7, 8 onwards, so I'm just putting him in now. Yeah, Watkins will punish me. Verts will everyone will punish me. Like, it's, if you think like that, you'll never make any moves, I guess. Errors 25 months, thank you. Would you play Wood or take a -4 to deal with Sarr? I guess I would play Chris Wood, but he did get benched around this time last season after an international trip and then an Arsenal game. So there is a chance he gets benched. So I guess it depends who your other player is. Because if he does get benched, he probably comes on. Fourth Amandum. I think I pronounced that right. New member, thank you. Why don't you pick Watkins now and then? Because I don't want to book loads of transfers in. Yeah, this wildcard's a mistake. I spoke about if you want to know why I activated the wildcard, you can watch the video yesterday. I think it's just too long for me to go into it now. I just had enough issues to deal with, I think. My defence is better. My bench boost 5 looks better. I'm not confident Strand Larsen's going to be back next week. If I went for Semenyo, I have no way to upgrade Strand Larsen without a hit. Then I have to put off the bench boost. I don't like wildcard 6. I would prefer to do it in 7. So I just think it's easy to activate it now and set up for the next few weeks. Triple Bournemouth is crazy. Why? You think Bruno plays the 10 with Cunha Mount being out? Yes, I think that's most likely. He's going to play number 10 against Man City. He's not going to necessarily continue playing there long term, but yeah. This team doesn't look good enough for wildcard. You've kept a lot of the same players. I think I've changed 9 players. Yeah, I think 9 players. Raya, Goodmanson, Senesi, Lacroix, Van Dijk, Paquetá, Semenyo, Evan-Nilsson, Yorkresh. Yeah, 9 players. Now, not all of those players are necessarily big first-team players, but it is what it is. Yeah, the deadline countdowns are wrong, so I've just covered it up. Is it too early to put up Christmas decorations? Never too early. Watkins is a proven goal scorer, more consistent than strikers at his range. Yorkresh is a gamble, and Arsenal still don't know how to play with him. Yeah, this is basically my wild card, but I've got João Pedro and King over Evan-Nilsson and Hall. Nice. Yeah, I do... Maybe João Pedro is just going to be my Chris Wood this season. Didn't you comment under your video yesterday to ignore that part because you forgot you can bench Strand Larson? No, I did a video on why I've wildcarded. Yeah, I could have just got Semenyo, but then next week if I wanted to... I could have just got Semenyo, and then next week if Strand Larson wasn't fit, just bailed on bench boost 5. But then I'm going to have to think about when I'm going to wildcard and bench boost later. I'm not saying this wildcard is perfect, and it might end up that it comes out with less points, but there seems to be this feeling that it's a massive mistake because wildcard later on is going to be so amazing. Like it might just not be. And I suspect that if I hadn't wildcarded this week, I probably would have used it in 6 or 7. So, like, do we have that much more info in 6 or 7 that warrants delaying it? I don't know. I am fully aware that my attack might not actually be that much better this week than it would have been without the wildcard, but the defense is going to be better for sure. And the attack is on a par at least, I would say. Who would be a good 6.5 striker? I mean, honestly, you've probably got to go to someone like Thiago, I think. For this specific... yeah, maybe bench boost game week 1 would have been good. But, like, honestly, I'll worry about that next season. I think one thing I've learned is people like to dwell on what you should have done. Who cares now? Yeah, bench boost 1, maybe. Let's talk about it in pre-season next year. I mean, the thought has crossed my mind that maybe I should have just got it out of the way and I wouldn't have this issue. But it is what it is, right? It's done now. Porro, Wirtz, Vandenberg, or Gakpo, Van Dijk, Goodmanson. Probably the latter for this week, I would say. I think delaying it gives much more info on which semi-premiums we want. Isak, Palmer, Gyökeres, Saka, Ekitike. Yes, but I mean, I can already tell you I don't want Ekitike because Isak's going to be a problem. Like, are we really going to learn that much? I think it's going to be pretty clear Isak's going to be first choice number 9. Ekitike's minutes won't be that good. So I don't want Ekitike. I don't really see me wanting Isak anytime soon either. And by the way, if you delay it and then you decide you want Isak, when are you wildcarding to do that? Like game week 8 or 13? That's a long way away. So I'm not really worried about that. Palmer, I've got a route to. Gyökeres is in my team. And Saka, well, I mean, I can't have Palmer, Saka, and... Sorry, yeah, Palmer, Saka, and Salah. So I've got to make a choice down the line. It can only be one or the other. And if I've got a route to Palmer, I've also got a route to Saka, you know? The thing is, in terms of delaying gives you more info, what info are you looking for? Minutes, right? Well, Palmer, when he's fit, is nailed. Gyökeres is pretty much nailed while Havertz is out. Saka's nailed when he's fit. Ekitike won't be nailed. And Isak will probably be first choice, but he won't play 90 minutes week in, week out. I don't think minutes-wise we're going to get that much info. You know, I don't really need to see Palmer score goals to think he's a good pick, right? Game week 9, the fixtures swing. He's a good option. As long as he's playing regularly. Are you not concerned about Mitoma's record of almost never starting the game after the international break? I'm a Brighton fan. Can I remember it once in 3 years we've had him? Well, I am now you've said that. Is that a thing? Let me know. Bench Sarr and play one of Wood or Dekaipa or transfer out Sarr. Not that excited by the Sarr alternatives, but I could go Dewsbury Hall as I'll probably free hit 5. I mean, Dewsbury Hall, if you're free hitting 5, seems quite nice. But yeah, you could just play Wood. Why do I still have Saka? I do not have Saka. Are we just getting rid of all Chelsea players now? No. In fact, I think people are still buying João Pedro. Why are you keeping Dewsbury Hall if you can move into King? Yeah, Josh King's interesting. There was lots of quotes that came out about Josh King last night. The problem is I can't remember what the journalist's name is that covers it now. I think he said something about having to manage him longer term. Let's have a look. Let me see if I can find the quotes. Who was the journalist? Oh yeah, Jack Kelly. Yeah, there was loads of stuff on Josh King. Let me see. He was asking about loaning Josh. Oh yeah, Josh doesn't feel any pressure. He knows that for me. He's like the others. I don't put pressure on him like I didn't put extra pressure on Smith Rowe. Blah blah blah. Hang on, where is the quote I actually need? Oh yeah, probably in some moments of the season we're going to have to be a little bit more careful with him. Last season we had more careful with Rodrigo Muniz in some moments, or even Raul Jimenez. But as a whole, King is treated like all the others. Yeah. Squad depth he's happy with. I don't know. It seems like he's going to continue to get used. It is a little bit tempting to go Josh King over Dewsbury Hall, I guess. He is nice for bench boost next week. So I think Gakpo's starting this week. 100% Gakpo starts, yeah. Did Strand last on to Tony because he has... To Tony? Because he has Chelsea, United and City in the next 4. Didn't want to take a -4. Thiago, you mean? I think. Tony. That's a name I haven't heard mentioned for a while. What's the early kickoff today? I'm actually not sure. Oh, it's Arsenal, I think. I did miss the legend Reinders. I'm going to get him. Maybe I'll get him on free hit. We'll see. Vardiol, Reinders, and Haaland on free hit, I guess. I just saw something about transfers for AFCON, and I think Newcastle was mentioned, but I can't find the question now. I apologise. Oh, I need to change the music. I'm still listening to Phoenix. I'm thinking it's a wildcard game week 18 to set up bench boost 19 and game week 20. I'm going to be honest. I've not looked at how that would work. But yeah, sure, if there's a plan. It just feels like quite a late time to wildcard. I've gone for Eze on my wildcard. Will he play this week or should I bench him? Honestly, if you're already worried about whether or not to play Eze against Forest at home, you should not have him on your wildcard, in my opinion. Who to start? Wood or Reinders? Reinders. Matoma not starting after internationals is definitely a thing, more so since we had Fabian in charge. The thing that could be in your favour is we only have 2 matches to fit out and out wingers. Well, the problem with Matoma then is we've got another 2 international breaks after this one, right? Start Milenkovic or Juve? Probably Juve. Let me just... If I go back to Manoz... I'm going to end up on something really stupid. I can just see. I'm a little bit worried about what I might end up on team-wise. Yeah, Josh King doesn't let me get to Semenyo while keeping Evan Nilsson. I basically... Okay, let's just put Semenyo back in. I've got to find 0.4 million from somewhere to afford this team. I guess it's Munoz down, but I think once I sell Munoz, I'm just going all the way down to 4. I think I'm just going down to Goodmanson. And the thing is, once I do that, I've got extra money to spend. This is the problem with activating your wildcard a little bit late. The fringe players become a problem. Lacroix to Gay, yeah, I quite like Lacroix, though. I think Lacroix's locked for me. I don't see me going without him. I could go for another Palace defender instead of Goodmanson, but that doesn't feel great either. Bruno's going nowhere. Get over it. Get over it. Always enjoy these streams. Glad you do. Wildcard for me, Xavi Simons or Elanga. I think I'd go Xavi Simons. Anyone looking better at 5.5 than Tarkowski long term? Tarkowski's pretty good, yeah. It's just if you're bench boosting 5, he's got Liverpool away. Do you have Raya because of the Raya and Van Dijk better than Gabriel and Alisson? Not worried about Gabriel. Bullet headers. I do like Gabriel, yeah. I'm a little bit worried about him. I have looked at ways I could have Gabriel instead of Munoz. I could also go Gabriel instead of Van Dijk. Thoughts on playing Dango against Chelsea as an option for your wildcard? Yeah, I guess if you had to play him, you could. I mean, Dango Utara. Yeah. Same with I've thought about Thiago as well. Salah and João Pedro versus Gakpo and Haaland. Salah and João Pedro for me. Why is Lacroix so much better than Munoz? I don't think he is so much better than Munoz. He's just cheaper, right? Would you either transfer Williams or Dorgu with 0.3 million or save the transfers? If so, who to get? I'd probably transfer one of them out to like Lacroix. Yeah. Williams to Lacroix could be good if you're free hit 6. If not, you probably keep him. And then Dorgu to like a Richards or something like that, probably. What's the thoughts on Bruno over in Burmo? Penalties? Defcons? I did look at potentially doing Salah to Mbermo and Evan Nilsson or Mateta up to Haaland in game week 6 without free hitting. So I could have Fernandes and Mbermo. Yes, I could have just done Salah to Semenyo. I've already spoken about that. Again, Lacroix in because He's just better for goal threat and better for defensive contributions than Gay. Yeah, everyone keeps saying Bruno's holding the team back. Who should be in instead of Bruno Fernandes? Who should be picked instead of him? Don't say Reinders. Sarah and Nico Williams to Richards and Semenyo -4, or Minos to Williams and bench Star for Wood. Probably the one without the hit, I guess. Thoughts on Xavi Simons and Harvey Elliott? Xavi Simons, I think, is going to be pretty much nailed, I think. Harvey Elliott, probably, but I'm a little bit less sure about it. The deadline is 1 hour, 26 minutes away. Unfortunately, my timer is incorrect, so I've had to cover it up, which is really annoying. I think I'm just going to get it set up so I can manually put the time in rather than have it automated. Free hit, Mateta and King or any two premium defenders who... I would have Mateta, yeah. Eight Nori is apparently out for about 5 weeks, so if you got him, he's probably going to be a sell. Thoughts on going for a Forest player on what? Nah, I think after 5 and 6, Forest got no interest in any of them. Why not Minos with all that money? Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the thing we're talking about. Do I just stick Minos in this team? Maybe. Maybe that's what I do. Yeah. You've got me worried about Matoma now. I was already pretty worried about Matoma. Is Minter playing internationals? Or does he get international breaks off? So I could go for Minter. Or Ruta, but I'm not so sure about that. Why no Spurs players? Don't they have easy fixtures? But who, though? Like Xavi Simons, maybe, instead of Semenyo, but I'd prefer Semenyo. Porro's good, but I prefer Van Dijk, Gabriel, Munoz, Lacroix. I'm not going to go for Richarlison. Kudus, maybe, instead of Matoma. I did think about Kudus. I think I can't. Yeah, I think I kind of want. I think I kind of want. I could, by the way. I could go for. Oh no, Semenyo. I could go back to Minos and back to Dewsbury Hall. And then I just sell Evan Nilsson instead. So Evan Nilsson to Thiago. Is Thiago playing internationals? Oh my god, I feel like I've got to look this up now. Thiago Alcantara. Yeah, I like Dewsbury Hall, to be honest, over Josh King. Just for bench boost 5, it kind of sucks, really. Alex, I'm not going through Paquetá and Dewsbury Hall. Didn't we do that all on Thursday? Why do you think Gakpo starts? Why do you think he wouldn't? How many game weeks? Well, that I don't know. 4 and 5, and then who knows after that. Enjoy latest. He's a doubt. On free hit, Sanchez, Gabriel, or Raya Cucurella. Sanchez, Gabriel, I think. Most of the time, I'd always prefer the Gabriel option. Evan Nilsson, Lacroix, or Gabriel Thiago. I mean, short term, Chaz, short term, probably the first one. Longer term, probably the one with Gabriel. In my opinion, you need to at least have one of each Chelsea, City, and Spurs player. No, I just don't think that's how you should play, really. You should pick the best player. And the best player might not be from the best teams. Like, I think Semenyo is better than Xavi Simons. I think, I don't know, Lacroix is better than Tosin. João Pedro, fair enough. I get it. But Raya is better than Sanchez. Man City, I'd prefer Salah to Haaland. I don't want both, etc., etc. I think you need to go for... there's no chance I go for a Haaland Salah draft. 0 chance. Best 5 million blow replacement for Ole Aina. Probably Lacroix. Man City, Man United, derby predictions. I'm saying Man United win 2-1. Away from home. Why not? Is free hit a good choice for this game? It depends on your team. Am I committing to free hit 6? Yes. Although I could... If I do Minos to Goodmanson... So if I do this team, right? So just do... Where do I get 0.9 million from? Don't say Fernandez out. Don't say Fernandez out. I could just leave money in the bank, by the way. If I go for this team, potentially I could go without free hit 6. But if I then free hit 6 and I've got 3 Bournemouth players already who've got Leeds away, that kind of feels a bit rubbish. Feels a bit rubbish. I just think there's too many sacrifices needed for a Haaland Salah draft. I just don't like it enough. Why not Evan Nilsson to João? I mean, with this draft, I can afford Evan Nilsson to João Pedro, interestingly. I don't... I quite like the Bournemouth fixtures, honestly. I think they're better than Chelsea. Chelsea's fixtures. Game week 9, maybe, is when I would look to buy... Even there, I'm not convinced by João Pedro for Evan Nilsson. I really don't think there's a good chance that João Pedro makes my final team. If you were in a wildcard, who would you consider, Voltemada or João Pedro? Between those two options, I'd probably go João Pedro. Yeah, Voltemada is interesting. Do you feel Salah is really essential? No. Xavi Simons and Lacroix versus Kudus and Munoz till game week 6. Probably Xavi Simons and Lacroix, I think. But I think Kudus and Munoz, you probably know more what you're getting, but I think Xavi Simons is going to play. There is a chance, by the way, I should say, there is a chance Xavi Simons gets benched this week. Like, it could happen. No, don't. What do you mean? You've got Semenyo, so spread the risk with João Pedro. How does that work? Why does going for João Pedro over Evan Nilsson to spread? How does that make sense? Either Evan Nilsson's the better pick or João Pedro is. Now, I know everyone watching this thinks that João Pedro is. That's fair enough. But owning Semenyo makes no difference to me with Evan Nilsson. I'm a little bit torn on Evan Nilsson versus João Pedro, if I'm honest. I'm not 100% sure Evan Nilsson is better. But I do like the fixtures. The thing is, right, you've got to... I'm probably going to free hit 6. So that's João Pedro's probably best fixture of the next 4. You could argue this week's better. João Pedro's the most informed player in the league. I know, but form comes and goes, you know. João Pedro's ownership is worrying. I don't want to pick players based on ownership, to be honest. But this team is tempting, but I don't know. I really just do not know now. I'll tell you what also crossed my mind last night was doing like Evan Nilsson down to Guiu and just bench boosting with Guiu in 5, but I think that was a bit crazy. Gabriel and Kudus or Livramento and Eze on a wildcard. Gabriel and Kudus. Bruno and Evan Nilsson out for Gakpo and João Pedro. No chance. No chance. Bruno Fernandes is just nice on an early wildcard because you know you don't have to worry about him. Gakpo could be a minute's risk later on. Look at Chelsea's fixtures from game week 9. You'll want triple Chelsea from then. I don't know if I definitely will, but maybe, yeah. I'll definitely probably want Palmer if he's back. But I mean, my plan would probably be to try and roll until game week 9. So hopefully I'd have 4 free transfers, although we all know how that will work out. Not planning to wildcard or free hit before game week 13. Xavi or King for Sarr? Probably Xavi. Can we call him Xavi? Rate my team. Sanchez, Van Dijk, Munoz, Anderson, Rogers, Salah, Njai, Semenyo, Wood, Watkins, João Pedro, bench, Dubravka, Nico, Estev. Yeah, looks pretty good. No chip shoes. Nice. 2 million rank. You need a branded Let's Talk FPL bottle to drink from. Yeah, one day maybe. Maybe I should go João Pedro. I've literally got the money to go Evan Nilsson to João Pedro with this team. It's right there. The money is right there. If you don't buy João Pedro with the current circumstances, will you ever? Potentially not. But like, I'm not really worried about that. Like, if I need him, I can buy him. It's not like a big issue, I don't think. Don't make me buy João Pedro. Is João Pedro definitely better than Evan Nilsson? Here's a question for you all. Right, how many minutes do you think João Pedro plays each week when Europe starts? Now, part of me thinks he's just going to play all the minutes because who else is going to play? But can he do that? Can he play like 80 plus on the weekend, then Champions League, then weekend, then Champions League, then weekend? Can he do that? you think? 80 to 90 every week, even with Champions League. They don't have many other options, so they might have to play him. But can he keep up with that workload? Maybe. Start 2, Dewsbury Hall, Senesi, Kudus, João Pedro. João Pedro and Kudus, probably. Victor Yorkresh is holding my team back more than Bruno. Potentially, yeah. He could be rubbish. Would you do Guy to Yorkresh for a -4? I would bench Paquetá. No, probably not. Maybe just save the transfer and decide what to do with your bench boost next week instead. João Pedro is on penalties if Palmer is out. Evan Nielsen isn't. I mean, Evan Nielsen's on penalties if Kluivert's out. And also, by the way, it's funny you say that because literally Palmer was out last week and Enzo Fernandez took the penalty over João Pedro. So let's say 70 to 80 every week, João Pedro versus 90 Evan Nielsen. Yeah, I'd go Evan Nielsen in that case. For sure, like 100%. I don't think Evan Nielsen plays 90 every week, though, to be honest with you. Maybe I just leave the money in the bank. Maybe that 0.7 million just helps me out later. Let's look at. I think with João Pedro, I'd be happy to have him this week. I think next week I'll be like, okay, it's Man United away. So it's Man United away. I'm going to free hit in 6 probably. Then it's Liverpool at home. Now Forest away might be a lot better. I do agree from game week 9 he looks good. But if he's that good, I can just buy him that week. You know? Yeah. As I say, Evan Nielsen's not a 90-minute man week in, week out. Like, so far he's played 90, 87, 80. But I would bet that Evan Nielsen's minutes are as good as João Pedro's, if not slightly better in the league once Champions League starts, which is this week or next week. I'll be honest, right? I'm a little bit torn with João Pedro because there's part of me that just thinks his minutes have to be really, really good. They just have to now. No Liam Delap, no Nicholas Jackson. Guiu, I just do not think is going to get many minutes. But I'm probably not going to buy João Pedro. I think it's a little bit harsh to say that Chelsea is a miles better team than Bournemouth, especially when it comes to attack. I don't think that's necessarily true. Maybe it has been so far. I've not looked at the numbers. So last season, for expected goals, Chelsea just above Bournemouth. So Chelsea were is that right? Yeah, Chelsea were 60. Chelsea were 3rd, Bournemouth were 4th. This season, I suspect Chelsea are top. Actually, I think Chelsea done pretty well. Yeah, Chelsea right out there, but so are Bournemouth. Anyway, look, you don't need to convince. Just put João Pedro into your own teams. You don't need to convince me to put him in mine. João Pedro's likely to score against Man United. He definitely could, yeah. Tyreek George will take some minutes, potentially Neto as well, but João Pedro will get the lion's share. Agreed. Ekitike or Xavi Simon's on a free hit. Probably Ekitike. Thoughts on Tavernier as an option to fund moves? I have briefly looked at him. I think he's okay. He should continue playing mostly. Buy Paquetá or Semenyo. Semenyo is better, but it depends what you might need the money for if you go Paquetá. Frimpong, Sarr, Guiu, Munoz, Reinders, João Pedro -8 or keep Frimpong -4. I mean, if you're considering a -8, why are you not considering wildcard, I guess? But sure, the -8's okay. Paquetá, Reinders, Kudus, Matoma, please rank them. Probably, I mean, if they're all playing, Matoma, then Kudus, then Paquetá, then Reinders just about. But Paquetá and Reinders are quite close. But honestly, I need to check, right? I need to check Matoma's minutes last season during international breaks. This conversation about João Pedro reminds me of Chris Wood last year. Yeah, don't worry. That thought has crossed my mind that I've just got this completely wrong, and João Pedro will just continue to be an absolute monster, which he may well be. Oh, Harry's deadline timer is fixed now, so yours might be as well. No, it doesn't look like it. Hour and 42 minutes, like an hour and 12. My finals decision: Xavi, Rodgers, Iwobi, or Harvey Elliott. Probably Rodgers out of those. Paquetá and Dewsbury Hall rotate great. Not in game week 5 though. João Well, not sorry, as in not in game week 5 because I want a bench boost. João Pedro has the data, Wooden didn't have. Yeah, again, like I'm really João Pedro's a good pick. I'm not really saying otherwise. I'm just probably not going to pick him myself. That's all. But yes, I think he's very good. You should absolutely if you want João Pedro, if you're wildcarding, you want João Pedro, you should definitely go for João Pedro. No no issues for me whatsoever. Dubravka or Sells? Probably Sells. Reminds me of Messi Lingard at West Ham, yeah. Calafiori or Timber? Right now, probably Calafiori, but I don't know about either longer term. On a wild card, Vicario, Dubravka, Munoz, Romero, double Spurs, interesting. Senesi Anderson, Chalobah, okay, versus Livramento. Probably just get Tosin, I guess. But Chalobah probably. Salah, Bruno, Semenyo, Gakpo, Dewsbury Hall versus Simons and Paquetá. Salah, Bruno, Semenyo, Gakpo and Dewsbury Hall versus Simons and Paquetá. Probably Gakpo and Dewsbury Hall, I think. Bench was 5 and maybe 3, hit 6. Nice. Bench 1, Alanga, Barnes or Semenyo. Barnes, I think. Dorgu, Sarr to Minor Semenyo -4. No João Pedro. If you haven't got João Pedro, you should rethink that. Yeah, it seems okay for a -4. Oh, Almiron, yeah, he absolutely smashed it as well. How do you have dark mode on? I'm not sure, to be honest. It was just on when FPL launched this year. Anyway, I was checking Mitoma for last season. Okay, let me just... Where is his stats? Full stats. So I'm checking on Transfer Market for last season. When were the international breaks? Whoa, what are you on about? Hang on a sec. Okay. So Mitoma played the early... Was the international break after 3 or 4 last year? Either way, Mitoma played 90 minutes. He did only play 30 minutes in the second international break, but he pretty much started every game after that. So he got benched for 1 game after an international break last season. It's risky though, isn't it? By the way, he just often plays like close to 90 minutes most games. He's a bit of a machine. There was a time over Christmas he wasn't great. Does Salah's 1 goal to Burnley all time bother you? Not really. Yeah, Will got it right last week about Newcastle. But I mean, I still wouldn't necessarily trust the info because it's often wrong. That's the problem, right? When you've been wrong so many times, how do you know which bit to trust? Guiu to Mateta or start Guiu or Pap Sarr? I mean, if you could get Mateta, you should probably get him, yeah? Do I recommend Reinders? Potentially, depending on the other options. Would it have been worth playing Njai over Dewsbury Hall as does first sub for this game? If not, with 0.5 in the bank, who's a good replacement? Oh no, I think Dewsbury Hall's a fine first sub for Njai, to be honest. Got Jed Spence and Ruter on my team. Do you think they will start and their minutes will be good or not? Jed Spence probably okay, but Udogie's back now, so longer term might be an issue. And Ruter, I think Ruter probably starts, but can't guarantee it. The guy deletes his... Yeah, he's been wrong a lot of times, honestly. If it makes it more tempting, João Pedro only played 100 minutes in the international break. Yeah, 100% he did. Again, João Pedro, pretty good option. You should definitely consider him for your team. If you had the extra 0.1 million, would you consider doing Pope and Kudus versus Raya and Paquetá? No. I haven't thought about buying Nick Pope at all. On wildcard, wanting Salah and Haaland, could you suggest the best goalkeeper for under 5? I'd probably go for Petrovic, I think. Grealish or Paquetá? Probably Paquetá for me and save the money. But Grealish is good. Grealish is really good if you want him. Would you do Marmouche to King and Guiu to Mateta for a -4? I would probably consider it if you got no other options, yeah. Don't mind that. You got a couple couple of issues there. Why don't you have a Spurs player? Which Spurs player should I have, and which player should I be selling to get that Spurs player? That would be my question to you. Play double Spurs defense or play Chris Wood? I'd be tempted to play this double Spurs defense. GameWeek 5 is the main reason I'm not sold on Paquetá over Dewsbury Hall. Fair. Wildcard, Petrovic, Sarr. Okay, I've not thought about that goalkeeper combination, but I'm sure it's fine. Van Dijk, Richards, Cucurella, Van de Ven, Timber, Semenyo, Enzo, Kudus, Xavi. Okay. Elliot, Haaland, Voltemada, sorry, Ekitike. Swap Van de Ven, Timber, Elliot for Paquetá, Porro, Cash. I mean, I think Paquetá, Porro, Cash, I would really strongly consider that because I think you've got a lot of players in there that could be issues for you sooner rather than later. So if you can put in a few safer players, I'd probably do that. Romero or Lacroix, already got Richards. Probably Lacroix for now. Salah or Dewsbury Hall. I'd probably go Salah just. I want to get Munoz. Do I get him for Juve or Nico Williams? Probably Juve, but if you're free hit 6, I would do it for Nico Williams. Pope or Raya on free hit. Raya. Live score says that João Pedro is suspended. He's not suspended. Unless he's picked up a suspension over the last few hours, which would be amazing, by the way. Thoughts on this Raya... thoughts on this. Raya, Van Dijk, Van de Ven, Senesi, Lacroix, Salah, Gakpo, Semenyo, Grealish, Gyökeres, João Pedro and Voltemada taking the punt wildcard this week. Like it. If you want to take the punt, you should take the punt. You thinking of Evan Nilsson versus João Pedro? Honestly, I'd be considering Gyökeres versus João Pedro. No chance. By the way, I'm only considering João Pedro now because I've gone for the Goodmanson Semenyo option. I wish there was a cheap forward. Strand Larsen. You're killing me, Strand Larsen. Would you sell Strand Larsen for a -4 or risk starting in Jai? Other bench, Milenkovic and Estev. I'd be tempted to risk it, I think. I'd be tempted to risk it. Start 2, bench 2, Tarkovsky, Spence, Ruter and Wood. I'd probably start Ruter if you got him. And Tarkovsky, I think, over Chris Wood, especially with the Defcons. Just got info that Kolo Muani's starting strike today for Spurs at striker. Interesting. What about Semenyo to Gakpo? I have considered that a lot, honestly. I've considered Gakpo quite a lot. I think he's a definite transfer out. I think with Semenyo, the fixtures are just good for quite a while. Like, honestly, I think with Bournemouth players, like, even if you had to hold them through Man City away, after that, Villa away, West Ham at home, Sunderland away, Everton at home, they're just good for quite a while. And that does have value, not having to kind of worry about them later on. Cannot believe you persist with Bruno so much. I mean, I can't believe you don't believe that if you've been watching my stuff for a while. Lacroix or Richards, as we might need Haaland soon. Lacroix is better, but obviously keep your plans open. If you think you need to go for Richards for money, then do that. Safer players such as, I will do Voltemada to Wood in Game Week 5. I definitely wouldn't plan to buy Chris Wood in Game Week 5, personally. I mean, so on your wildcard, these are players that I would say are potentially issues at some point. Timber, I don't think he's completely nailed. I mean, Xavi, I think, will be nailed, but obviously there's unknowns right now. Harvey Elliott, we can't be 100% sure about his minutes. Voltemada's probably fine, because I think Visser could end up being out for a while. Ekitike is going to have problems with Isak. So, yeah, that's what I would basically say. Do I wildcard? Have Watkins, Strand Larsen. Watkins is fine, by the way. Strand Larsen, Juve, and Murillo that I for sure want to get rid of, but only one free transfer, or just start Watkins. Yeah, just start Watkins and do Juve to Munoz. Job done. Murillo to Lacroix or play Juve and roll. I think getting Lacroix is good, especially if you're on free hit 6. If you're not, maybe keep Murillo. João Pedro, Kudus or Reinders, Watkins also looking longer. I think I prefer Reinders and Watkins, but João Pedro is good. I have to keep saying that. Okay, I think Salah or Dewsbury. Dewsbury and Simons or Grealish and Bob. Dewsbury and Simons. Ain't Narita Van Dijk for a hit or play Murillo. I'd be tempted to take the hit, but you probably shouldn't. But in this particular case, I'd be tempted to take the hit. Wood and Juve sell before they go down in price. If you don't think they're good long-term picks, then yes. Looking at current predicted price changes, I think I'm going to be forced into a wild card tonight. I suspect half my team's going to go down in price. By the way, what's the time? 10 o'clock. I need to be more sure about this. I kind of want Semenyo, I think. I think that I've kind of decided that I want Semenyo. Yeah. Why does he keep saying ain't Nuri? Ain't Nuri? I don't know. I'm just a horrible person, I guess. On free hit, would you go triple Palace defense and Voltamada up front, or double Palace defense, Burnham and Teta? Do you know, I quite like the all-in approach. But the thing is, can you not go double Palace, Voltamada and Mateta? I think triple defense. I think the all-in approach is quite nice. People keep asking me why I don't have a Spurs player. Which Spurs player should be in this team? Honestly, if Richarlison was 100% nailed to start every single game, he'd be in. But I don't think that's the case, right? I think Semenyo is better than Xavi Simons, etc., etc. Why do I pick Bruno? I just don't like doing well at FPL. Basically, that's the long and the short of it. I just don't. Van der Ven instead of who though? I think overall, like, Kudus, sure, but not instead of Semenyo, right? Spence, no chance. Like, who does Van der Ven come in for? Goodmanson, maybe? I don't know. Don't want the world to see me. Maybe I just start with 0.7 in the bank. Maybe I just go for Konza. I could go for Konza instead of Goodmanson. Or even Cash. Take a punt on Cash. With Solanke out for a while, Richarlison maybe. But then you've got Kolo Muani there now as well. Yeah, Xavi Simons is tempting, but he's not better than Semenyo. Like, I like him, but I don't think he's that good. Move Rodgers or one Forest defender or save. Maybe the Forest defender. I don't think I would move Rodgers out now. You probably just keep him for the good fixtures, right? Debating a wildcard to improve my team, but should I keep it? That's really... I don't know your team. I don't know your future plans. You really have to just decide for yourself on that one, I'm afraid. I can't tell you whether to hold it or use it. I mean, I've used it, so I think it could be okay, but... I think rotation hits with Chalobah. It's hard to know because obviously Europe hasn't started. I was chatting to some people last night about information we might get, and I don't think there's a huge amount of info that's going to change our plans majorly from when Champions League and stuff starts. But I guess things like that could be small bits of info. Tarkovsky's a DEFCON beast. I don't think he'll level it. If I wasn't on Bench Boost 5, I might pick Tarkovsky, honestly. Wood to Mateta. Does Wood start under Ange? Probably, but I guess there's slight unknowns there. I'd probably lean towards keeping Wood, but I don't mind that transfer. Thoughts on Rice? Pretty good option for the price. I have considered him. Mark, thank you. Murillo to Minoz or Williams to Lacroix? I mean, you could even do Murillo to Lacroix. If the money could come in handy. I think I guess I'd rather have Minoz than Lacroix if you can. Strand Larson to Meniz, one free transfer to bench Dewsbury Hall. No, I wouldn't do that. In that case, I would give Strand Larson a chance to be fit for Game Week 5. Gone for Salah and Haaland, pray for me, good luck. Am I worried about the Salah curse against Burnley? I might be worried about it after the matches played. When are the matches this week? I've not even checked. So I can watch Arsenal and watch Gyökeres blank at 12:30. The 3 o'clock game is Newcastle. I'm going to have no players in that game. That's annoying. Then Spurs, I've got no Spurs players. And then Brentford Chelsea, I've got no João Pedro. So actually, today's matches look a bit rubbish. Yeah. I'm just messing around with money, really. I've just got the money to get Konza if I want it instead of Goodmanson. Like Sunderland away in Game Week 5, Burnley at home in 7. I don't see me actually sticking with that, though. Yeah, why don't I go for Matoma? It's quite funny because I did have Matoma. Harvey Elliott's interesting. Oh, I can't wait till the deadline. Harvey Elliott's interesting. Richards over Konza, don't get the Konza pick. What don't you get? Bench boosters against Sunderland. Burnley at home in 7. Like I don't need Richards this week because like basically with the defense, playing Lacroix, Anderson, and Van Dijk is absolutely fine this week. So your other 2 defenders don't need to be played; they're just for future weeks. Yeah, Cash is in. So Villa fans, tell me, is Cash just going to stay 100% nailed even when Europe starts? Is Cash just going to play week in, week out? Villa have been, yeah, but the fixtures are good. Everyone always asks me if my Man United shirt is authentic or not. Interesting. Ray Gabriel, Van de Ven, Munoz, Lacroix, Salah, Gakpo, Semenyo, Haaland, Pedro. Nice. Don't know what the question is, but nice. Is there a plan to get Haaland or betting against? 3 hit 6 probably. Going for Salah and Hart. Oh yeah, that one. We'll start Mo subbed early in some for Burrows. I wouldn't touch Harvey Elliott with a barge pole. Permanently injured when he wasn't even a start. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get him. I just Red Arrow final boss. Yeah. Mateta or Salah captain. Salah. There are different versions like Stadium, Authentic, etc. That's why they ask. I don't know. I don't know. This one was about €100 or something, which is absolutely mental. So whatever that one is, that's what it is. On wildcard, Yorkeresh, Mateta, Ekatike, or Yorkeresh, Haaland, Mateta. Probably the Haaland one, to be honest. Upgrade Dewsbury Hall instead of Goodmanson. So I did think about this as well, right? So if I go for Goodmanson in this spot, which I might just do and bank the money, by the way, I could do Dewsbury Hall to Reinders. I think he's 5.7. So I could just have Reinders in place. So I could play in game week 7 instead. Excuse me, instead of Paquetá. Bruno Fernandes to Bruno Gomes. Come on now. No, Bruno's going nowhere. Just relax about it. Just relax. I got bigger stuff to worry about than Bruno Fernandes. That's just an easy player to put in. The countdown timer's blocked because it's incorrect. Oh, it's right now. Okay, it's fixed. It's fixed. Okay, we're back. We're so back. Oh, and I've got me commas back in me. Yeah. Do you have a 3-year sponsorship with Bruno? Yeah, definitely. Swap Spence for Richards or roll a transfer. Probably roll. You could do Paquetá to Reinders. Why have that 9 though? That's what you sold me in. No, I'm gonna have Paquetá. I just think he's safer longer term. Like, there's still I was saying last night to people that actually I don't think there's much info to be gained once Europe starts, but there is a little bit. And that is like, will Reinders' minutes continue to be really good when Europe starts? Probably, but Paquetá's definitely will be fine, and he's on penalties. No, Paquetá's pretty much a lock for me. This is the spot I'm messing with. Just stepped out to get coffee and now Reinders is in out of nowhere. Honestly, this is going to be like my game week 1 team. I'm going to end up with a player that I'm not 100% sure about, and I'm going to wonder why they made the team in a few weeks. I can just feel it already. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Enzo or Reinders or Dewsbury Hall. Enzo's probably the best, but obviously he's the most expensive. I swear you said you were taking FPL seriously this year, yet you still picked Bruno. Honestly, people, I really genuinely think this. I'm not the one with the Bruno obsession. Everyone else just has this obsession about how bad he is. You know, he just got me a 10-pointer. Relax. He's going to get me a 10-pointer against Man City as well. Then he's got Sunderland in 7. Just chill out. Why is he always the player people like struggle with the most? I'm sat there with Paquetá and Evan Ilson. Looking to sell Nori, would you bring in Van Dijk or an Arsenal defender? Probably Oh yeah, definitely Van Dijk if you can't get Gabriel, 100%. Enzo. Oh yeah, did that one. Harvey Elliott or Dewsbury Hall plus 0.4. I mean, Harvey Elliott's probably better for bench boost 5, but the minutes I guess are not fully secure yet. Is that Dango or Woods? Dango. Yeah. I swear I do get Paquetá and Reinders. I can't remember, to be honest. I think people talk about Bruno to Winder. I don't think they do. I mean, some people do, but I don't think that's the majority. I think there's just this weird obsession that Bruno Fernandes is this terrible option. Like he's always the biggest problem. Haaland versus Salah for captaincy. I would choose Salah, yeah. How much emphasis do you put on fixture records? Not much. What's your reasoning behind Paquetá over Reinders? Penalties and guaranteed minutes longer term. But again, I will stress, I think Reinders' minutes are probably going to be absolutely fine. Bruno red card versus City is destined. I mean, imagine that happens and I'm bench boosting in 5. That'd be a nightmare. Because there won't even be many midfielders I would want to go to. By the way, wildcarding and not going for Minoz feels bad. You convinced me as an 8th attacker Dewsbury Hall plus 0.9 was better than Paquetá. I've got Dewsbury Hall and Paquetá. Thoughts on Somerville? Got 2 assists last week. Will he start? The answer to that question is I don't know. Therefore, no, basically. Dewsbury Hall or King from Fulham. I'm going to go for Dewsbury Hall, but Josh King could end up being better value. FPL Victoria's Secret, 29 months. Thank you very much. Shane Larson to João Pedro Mateta and who? Or roll and play Dewsbury Hall. You could roll, for sure. If I was going to buy one, I'd go Mateta, but you could roll, I think. Who the hell is Paquetá? I think that's how you pronounce it, right? Paquetá. Where's my 5-litre water tank this season? I got rid of it. It's just annoying. I had this thing that I was going to drink more water if I had that, but ultimately I just drink quite a bit of water anyway. Kudos to Gakpo or Wood to Yorkeresh. Ooh, Wood to Yorkeresh, I think. Is Oscar Bob overlooked? His minutes have been good. I mean, the question is, will his minutes continue to be good? He could be great value at 5.5, but he'll become a headache, 100%. Happy birthday, shout out to Big Dave in the car. There you go. Happy birthday. Why isn't anyone talking about him, Burma? I actually spoke about him earlier. Could be an option. I don't think he's better than Fernandes, but maybe instead of. On Bruno, I think people generally really don't like him. Petulance, whining, etc. Easy to hate on him. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, I'm going to... How to say Paquetá. Okay, I'm going to listen to this now. Oh, I love this guy, right? If you've ever Googled and gone on YouTube how to say someone's name, there's a channel called Julian Mikel, and he always the video's just it's like this is how we're going to pronounce the name of this. He has like this long intro of what he's doing, even though the videos are like less than 40 seconds. Paquetá. I kind of say it with more of an R, I guess. Paquetá. I don't think I'm that far off. Paquetá. It's like tar rather than tar. Tar. Thoughts on a rogue Gakpo captaincy shout? I think it's fine if you don't have Haaland or Salah. Any thoughts on triple captain? If you free hit 6, then other options are waiting for Liverpool at home, Sunderland. Boom. There you go. That will be the option, yeah. I could just do Salah to Haaland in game week 6 and triple captain him then if I don't want to free hit. I probably will free hit, but I could also just not. Linger. I think Yorkeresh is the harder one. I think Yorkeresh is roughly around right. I think I've roughly got it right. I think obviously you want to get the names absolutely spot on, but I think like it's also good to just not completely butcher them. Like Mark Guiu, for example, like Guiu, there was people saying Gooey and stuff like that for his name. Like that's probably not how you want to say it, right? At least Guiu is almost correct. Ideally, you absolutely nail it, but I'm an idiot. So, ain't Norita Van Dyke, Anderson, Munoz, Van der Ven, Van Dyke, Reinders bench. I'm not really sure what the last part means, but I would go Van Dyke, yeah. I think Xavi Simons will start, but can't guarantee it. Decent 11, no Palace, 3 Paul. Would you do Larson to Mateta or Nico to Munoz or save the transfer for next week? If you don't need the transfer, you could roll it, but I do like Larson. Yeah, I would probably roll actually, because Larson could be back next week. Why not João Pedro over Evan Nielsen? I'm not as happy about João Pedro as everyone else, basically. But he's good. Triple captain in Haaland this week. Not sure about that, but fair enough. It's Guiu. Guiu is how you say it. Guiu. Something like that, anyway. It's more Guiu than Gooey. Is Njai injured? He 17 months, by the way. He is a doubt. Not definitely out. The way you pronounce Palmer is the most egregious. Well, can't get it all right. I think people are suggesting Bruno replacements because, including myself, because you take a lot of stick when he blanks. I don't care. People are going to get... Honestly, it doesn't matter what I do. I will get stick from someone for something. It doesn't matter. Whatever I do, it does not matter. That's just how the game works, you know? I could take Bruno Fernandes out of this team, right? And someone would say to me, why do you not just have Bruno Fernandes in the team? Like, honestly. So there's just no point worrying about that. I'm not going to pick players based on what other people will be happy about, because there will always be people that aren't happy. If I put João Pedro in, loads of people will be happy about it because he's high owned, right? So it'll be a similar team to theirs. But then there'll be people like, why'd you go for him? Just because of the high ownership, etc., etc. Thoughts on Jarrod Bowen, keep or sell? I mean, probably keep for now, but longer term, maybe have a plan for him. Kudus or Xavi, my wildcard's activated. I'm going to go for Xavi Simons. Why not? Go for that punt. If you had the funds, would you rather Evan Nielsen or João Pedro? I've got the funds, and I might go for Evan Nielsen. Thoughts? Murillo to Lacroix and Sarr to Semenyo for a -4. I probably... Or do Munoz instead of Lacroix and do Sarr to Xavi, or do Esteve to Senesi and hold Sarr. No, I'd sell Sarr. If you're going to do the -4 anyway, yeah, I like the first one, Lacroix and Semenyo. How do you pronounce in Burmo like that? What do you think can you give opinions? Sanchez, Dubravka, Gay, Calafiori, Munoz, Senesi, Van der Ven, Kudus, Salah, Enzo, Gakpo, Semenyo, Ekitike. I mean, what is this? A wild card? Is it your team? Is it a free hit? I mean, it looks pretty good for this week, I would say. Lots of good fixtures in there. Any Arsenal leaks? Not that I've seen. You accidentally left Bruno in. Yes. Start either Senesi or Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall. Rank these players, please. Mateta, Evan Nielsen, Wood, Wilson. Probably that order. Especially if that's Callum Wilson. I was thinking of bringing in Mateta for Fulkrug, but it would mean benching one of Reinders or Rodgers. Yeah, you could just roll, probably. You could just roll, I think. I'm never going to be able to get around Bruno Fernandes, so it's going to have to be Fernandes. Going to need another wild card next week. Looking at this, yes, classic. That's by the way, anyone ever says what do you think about this? What do you think about this team? And you know it's a wild card team, but they haven't if someone shows you their team and you know it's a wild card team, but they haven't said it's a wild card team, always say back to them that team needs a wild card. Honestly, classic, absolute classic in FPL. Cammy, thank you. Do you risk keeping Watkins on wild card? I probably won't, but I don't hate it. I actually looked at doing Yorkeresh, Mateta, and Watkins, by the way, at one point. So having Watkins in this spot. Got to free up 1.2 million though, which is probably Semenyo down to like Reinders or something like that. It's tempting. It's a little bit tempting. If you are recognised, you have a look at their team. Yeah, sometimes. every now and again, someone will just like. There was someone like recently that just just put like showed me their phone. Didn't say anything. They just showed me their phone. It was like FPL team. And then they started talking. If you take 10 hits, it's actually a hack for getting unlimited wildcards. Okay. For -4, Dorgu and Saar to Munoz and Semenyo, or Dorgu and Guy to Lacroix and João Pedro. The Munoz and Semenyo sounds pretty good to me. Evan Nielsen or Voltemada on a punt for my free hit. Well, if it's a punt, I think it's Voltemada. Targeting Sunderland seems a bit risky. They're 6th in the league. Sure, yeah. If you think they're going to finish 6th, that could be a problem. How about Gakpo captain? Again, fine if you haven't got Salah, etc. Everyone will captain Salah, and I feel he will blank or just an assist. I tend to captain Haaland as I can see him scoring 2 goals. Yeah, if you think Haaland's going to score more points, you should captain him. Will you start Dewsbury Hall or Paquetá? Probably Paquetá, but honestly, it's close. Haven't discussed Xavi Simons yet a lot yet. Take a hit for Strand Larsen to João Pedro or play Dewsbury Hall. Play Dewsbury Hall. When you visit England, you get recognised more frequently than when in Ireland. Probably yes, I would say. But I mean, I don't get recognised that much in general. This wildcard can't be setting up for bench boost 5, surely. Yeah, it is. How much you got in the bank? With this team, 0.7. Would you go on free hit with Wirtz, Salah, Gakpo? I would definitely consider tripling up on Liverpool one way or another, and there's nothing wrong with triple attack, absolutely. With all the blanks Salah has had against Burnley, plus his recent form, this is the week to captain Mateta. Nice, good luck with it. Mateta captain, sure. Raya and Dewsbury Hall, or Sanchez and Elliott. Raya and Dewsbury Hall. 5 million, keeper on free hit. How much is Pope? Is Pope 5 million? I think he is. On free hit, 3 Palace, 3 Newcastle, 3 Liverpool, 2 Man City, Pope, Livramento, Lacroix, Munoz, Van Dijk, Salah, Reinders, Gakpo, Voltemada, Mateta, Haaland. Sounds pretty good. I'm not sure I would go for Reinders on free hit, but I don't hate it. Would you buy Semenyo for Salah for free to bench Rodgers? Only if you're absolutely sure that's a good long-term move for your team. Because if you are, I think Semenyo is better than Rodgers this week. If you're not sure, roll. I think rolling in that situation is fine. Start Guy or take a -4. I'd be tempted to take a -4. Play Dorgo or Nico Williams or sell Dorgo for Richards. Dorgo to Richards looks good to me. Play Anderson versus Leeds or Senesi versus Brighton. Anderson, Richarlison or Mateta in wildcard. I mean, Mateta by an absolute mile. Piyush, 22 months, thank you. For a -4, would you do Strandlarsen to Thiago and Porro to Munoz? No, I don't like that. Thiago before Chelsea. Thoughts on Nico Williams, bench or play? Depends who your other options are. He's probably not a great option this week. Is your plan to bench boost some free hit in 6? Bench is 5, free hit 6, yeah. How much do you have in the bank? 0.7 with this draft. Gamble on triple captain in Semenyo? No. I don't think I would do that. Doesn't seem great. Why Paquetá? West Ham looked terrible. They did look terrible last week. That is true. Play Reinders or Wood. Reinders. Simply FPL, 37 months. Thank you. Tempted to save money in the bank for Isaac? Nope. Honestly, I don't think I would want him until game week 8. That's a long time to save that money in the bank. And even then, I'm just not sure I go there with Ekatike lurking around. Wirtz in a 4.5 or Raya and Gakpo. Last decision on wildcard. Raya and Gakpo, I think. Thoughts on Ekatike as a 2-week punt instead of Mateta? It's fine, but honestly, Mateta's just a safer pick. So depending on what your strategy, like if you're going to take a 2-week punt, then wildcard, sure, go Gakpo, but go Ekatike. But I mean, Mateta's arguably. In fact, do you know what? That's nonsense. I'm talking rubbish. I would go Mateta because Mateta's like almost guaranteed to play 90 this week, and he's on penalties. Ekatike probably won't play 90, and he's definitely not on penalties. And then next week, I think Mateta's just as good. So I would go Mateta. No Salah, no goal versus Burnley, no Mateta on free hit. Haaland captain, Yorkeresh, Ekatike, Gakpo, Wirtz, Semenyo, Grealish, Munoz, Cannavaro, Livramento, Pope. Yeah, fine if you don't want to go for Salah. I consider Strand Larsen, Thiago to fund Porro to Munoz. I wouldn't start Thiago this week. Yeah, fair enough. But can you not just do Porro to Lacroix and just bench Strand Larsen? I'm on wildcard. I want Lamens in my team as when life gives us Lamens. Should I go Vicario instead? Well, Lamens is not going to start. I don't think that's how you say his name, by the way. But yeah, Amrim already confirmed Bayindir is going to start against Man City. I'm taking Marmoush out, Kudus or Gakpo, anyone else. I like Gakpo in the short term. I mean, Gakpo's minutes might just continue to be really good for a while. Katiko triple captain, probably not. I just think a player with no penalties and probably going to get subbed around 70, even against Burnley. If at any point have I played with a no Salah, no Haaland draft? No. There's just not enough other premiums to do that. Palmer, no. Saka, no. Like, do I really want Bruno Fernandes being my most expensive player? Probably not, right? Do you know what? This team I've got on screen right now works really nice with no free hit 6. Like, just do Salah and Mateta. Salah and Mateta to Haaland and I guess someone like Mbeumo. That's quite tempting, you know. That is quite tempting. But then I know I'm going to want Salah back at some point. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. But it can work quite nicely. I'm getting 46 points this week. That's fine. I'm used to it. Man United double up, Brentford away, and then Sunderland at home. That is really tempting not to free hit. But then when am I free hitting later on? And I'm going to have to transfer Haaland back to Salah at some point. It looks really nice though. It looks really, really nice. Game week 8 not so good. Be thinking of your tweets every point that João Pedro gets. I mean, like, please don't get me wrong. I know João Pedro is pretty good. Like, I'm expecting him to get some points. I'm not expecting him just to blank every week. Start Sanchez or Vicario. Sanchez, I think. Thoughts on Trippier? Like for free hit maybe could be okay. But isn't Hall back? Like Hall could play and Livramento's there. Who would your bench be with this team? Goodmanson, Senesi, and Dewsbury Hall probably. It's like you've already forgotten those Burnley clean sheet double points. Yeah, it's. Do you know what? I'm not actually 100% sure Goodmanson is better than Esteve. There is part of me that thinks maybe I'm just doing that to be different. Because Esteve in Game Week 5 is pretty good. I don't know at what point I would need... I don't know at what point I would need Goodmanson, though. That's the thing. I probably haven't thought about that enough. I just think Leeds' defence longer term is probably going to be better than Burnley. Munoz is going to break my heart, probably. So the situation I'm stuck in now is I kind of want Semenyo instead of Mitoma. And if I go for Munoz, it's like 0.9. It's basically Thiago. That is the decision. It's Munoz, Semenyo, and Thiago, or Munoz, Mitoma, Evan-Nilsson, or Goodmanson, Semenyo, Evan-Nilsson. That is basically it. That's basically all the decisions are down to. It's just those three players. Free hit: Pope, Calafori, Gabriel, Munoz, Salah captain, Vert, Semenyo, Reinders, Gyökeres, Mateta, Waltemada. Nice. Waltemada, sorry. Tempted by Bob over Reinders. Yeah, I can see it. I can see the temptation, but I'd probably go Reinders. Should I start Kudus or Elanga? Like to roll, bad picks, but Konza or Van Heck. Konza, I think. What would you choose? Have Bruno for 38 game weeks and come 37th in the world. Never have Bruno and win FPL. I honestly do not know what you would do. Okay. Play Wood and Njai or replace Giu and Njai for Mateta and Reinders -4 and bench Wood. Or play Wood and replace Njai for Semenyo. Probably the Semenyo one for free. Stuck with Njai or Barnes in the 11 with one free transfer. Do I bring in Semenyo for Barnes or delay? I'd probably just play Barnes. Xhaka, Tielemans, Chris Wood, 4.2 in the bank, -4 transfer. Do I change someone or leave it, and who? Was tempted by wildcard but don't want to panic. Yeah, if you haven't thought about wildcard, I probably wouldn't. You could just play Tielemans. If you're not on 3-6, would you go Evan Nilsson over Mateta or just make the swap in 6? If I'm not on free hit 6, then I'd probably want to get Haaland in for 6, which means I'd sell Mateta for Haaland. What do you think about triple captain Salah this week? I think it's fine, but I think Haaland is better in 6. Any plan to bring Isak, Saka, Palmer in before game week 11? Yeah, Palmer potentially in 9. Isak, no plans for him. Start Ronaldo for 8 or take a -4 for Senesi. I wouldn't take a -4. Haaland and Dewsbury Hall to Mateta and Salah for a -4. No, I would just captain Haaland in that case. Do we know how likely is a double game week is in the first 19? Probably not that likely. You might get a blank, but it would be for like 2 teams probably. A double seems quite unlikely though. I think Kudus is fine, but I don't see me going with him. Why is everyone picking Paquetá? He scored a penalty and a screamer, plus West Ham have been poor. Less than 6 million on penalties. Not bad for Defcons either. Always going to play 90 minutes. Might play up front this week, you know. You never know. I don't think I can go Thiago. I don't like the Thiago pick. I will say with Munoz, I feel like once I get past this week, not having Munoz is not as bad. I do really like him though. He's so good. I just don't think I can get on board with Thiago. I think I've got to go over Nilsson. Start Murillo or Juve to bench Sarr. Juve probably. Even with Arsenal's fixtures, I'm not convinced by your Chris. Do you know what? I'm not fully convinced of him either, if I'm honest. Williams and Sarr to Munoz. This wildcard could be a disaster. Williams and Sarr to Munoz and Kudus -4. Or Williams and Sarr and Bowen to Munoz and Semenyo and Evan Nilsson -8. In that case, you just wildcard him, right? So the -4 probably. Or go Lacroix to make Evan Nilsson Mateta. Yeah, probably just the -4 or wildcard. Blink twice if Fernandez Matthew's holding you hostage. I already have Haaland not on free hit 6. Would you do Evan Nilsson over Mateta or make the switch in 6? I'd probably just go Evan Nilsson now, I think. Save the transfer. As a happy Munoz owner, there's not many weeks in the next 10 he doesn't play. Do you know what's playing on my mind? And I don't know if this should be a problem, but like if I go Munoz, then I've got to bench one of Paquetá or Anderson, and both seem okay this week. I'd prefer Munoz than both of them, but I'd then be benching someone good. And also, there is just part of me that thinks just go for the 4 million defender on the bench, because long term that's probably going to be better for like distributing funds. So I am a bit worried about what Munoz will do if I don't go for him. I'll be honest. Like he is going to get plenty of attacking returns. People are still unsure on Yorkeresh, but willing to take a punt on Voltemar. Voltemar's cheaper at least, but I think with Yorkeresh, like it's just I'm not completely convinced, but also I think it's a bit harsh to already like rule him out. Like he had 60 minutes, barely 60 minutes against Man United. First game away at Old Trafford. You know, he's obviously building up fitness. Gets a goal against Leeds, but it's Leeds. And then he plays Liverpool. You know, he hasn't had like a really good run of fixtures yet. I know his form's bad, but Watkins now, Yorkeresh later makes sense. Yes, if you've got the transfers to spare, yes. Hidden gem for the next 4 game weeks, Madueke, until Saka's back, which will probably be sooner than 4. You can just upgrade Lacroix to Munoz. That's a good point. That's a really good point. That's a really, really good point. I could just go for Munoz instead of Lacroix. I just think Lacroix is really good. Or, like I said earlier, I just get on board with the Thiago pick. That is a really good point though. I could just go for Munoz. How much do I really want Munoz? Now you're Now you're making me think. I can even bench Thiago this week. Don't even have to play him. Oh god, am I going to end up on Thiago? Is that what's going to happen here? I can feel it already. Raptor has tweeted that. Oh yeah, he did put out a team last night, didn't he? Has he tweeted this morning about that? That's a good point, actually. I forgot he put that team out. He did say, though, he wasn't completely sure about it. Oh, I've been sent a DM from the same guy that says this is now incorrect. He now says that, I don't know how you pronounce that name, Hall and Alanga are not starting, and Trippier, Murphy, and Share are in. Interesting, okay. By the way, I'm quite happy. Like, I apologise for saying this in advance to people that went Alanga, but I'm quite happy if he's not starting because I did question the minutes in pre-season. And I got it wrong last year. I thought he was going to start and he didn't. Langa 7 million. Oof. 6 penalty takers. What in this team? Paquetá, Fernandez, Salah, Mateta, Gyökeres, Thiago. Yeah, 6 penalty takers. That is the thing with Thiago. Okay. I think this is the team I'm maybe happiest with. I don't know, though. I could play 4-4-2 this week. Imagine wildcarding going 4-4-2. Imagine doing that. Free hit this week is fine, but it really depends on your team. Am I happy playing Gyökeres next week against City when Watkins has Sunderland? No. No, I'm not. Can you not put Dewsbury Hall to King and acquire to Goodmanson and João Pedro? I'm not going for João Pedro, I don't think. And I know, I get it. Give to Mateta and Murillo to Senesi for a -4. It's okay, I guess, if you've got no other options. Goodmanson or Rodon, they're both pretty similar. I think Goodmanson's maybe a bit more attacking. At least that's what a Leeds fan told me this morning. Bowen out, Mateta in for a -4. No, I probably wouldn't do that. Your original plan, wildcard 13. Yes, that was the original. Select 2 out of 3. Dewsbury Hall, Rodgers, Wood. Dewsbury Hall and Rodgers. Bench 1, Verts, Rodgers, Watkins, Semenyo. Ooh, Rodgers. Yeah, easily Rodgers, actually. Thiago pick is dodgy. I agree. Brentford fans, let me know. How dodgy is the Thiago pick? Is he going to keep starting? Is Thiago going to keep starting? Bench 3. Paquetá, Grealish, Senesi, Chalobah, Calafiori. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So play 4. João Pedro, Paquetá, Grealish, Calafiori. Swerve Thiago, your team is better as it is. No, I'm not going for Richarlison, no chance. Bench 2, Anderson, Paquetá, Reinders. I would probably... I mean, honestly, you could argue Anderson's the best out of those. But I'd probably play Paquetá, I think. Triple Palace with all the injuries and extra games. Yes, I would on a free hit. I probably would on a wild card as well. I'm not convinced by Richarlison's minutes. Once Europe starts and Mwani's there now as well, I just think there's too much of a risk, basically. Shubham, thank you. Start 2 of King, Rodgers, Gibbs, White. The 2 not playing Arsenal, I think. Do you think Frimpong will start the game? I think there's a chance, but I wouldn't be able to guarantee it, of course. We could just see Szoboszlai keep playing there. Honestly, with this, I don't know if I like the TR, but I hate bench boost. Bench boost is just so rubbish. I think with Thiago, I've got if I go with this team, I've got to play him too often. I just think I'll get frustrated with him. He is like a £6 million penalty taking number 9. Timber Calafiori on free hit. Probably Calafiori. Bench Reinders, Verts, Pedro, Mateta, or Barnes. Reinders. Callum, how's it going? Wildcard. Sanchez, Pedro Porro, Lacroix, Senasai, Semenyo, Bruno, Gakpo, Jack Grealish, Wood. Chapo. I wouldn't go for Wood on wildcard, I don't think. Bench Dubravka, Juve, Goodmanson, Xavi. Juve, maybe okay. Did this drunk last night. Anything missed? Any changes? Chris Wood, I definitely wouldn't go for. Everything else seems okay. Jack Grealish, if you're bench boosted in 5, has got Liverpool away, but it's not necessarily the end of the world. He also can't play in game week 8 because of Man City. Haaland, Gakpo, Henderson. Haaland, Gakpo, Henderson, Gyökeres, Salah, Pope. This week, Salah won. I've got 0.1 million in the bank with this team that you see right in front of you. It gets me Semenyo. It gets me Munoz and Lacroix. I don't know. I just feel like I'm going to have to play. I'm going to have to play Thiago quite a bit. I just like Bournemouth's fixtures. Like, is Munoz that important? That's the question. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. Josh King is the answer, possibly. Transfer Thiago to Gyökeres, Watkins or João Pedro. Slight concern over having 3 Chelsea without Palmer if I go João Pedro. Gyökeres for me, probably out of those. Start Paquetá or King. If you've got King, I guess you start him against Leeds. Start Anderson or Senesi or double Palace defence. Double Palace defence. Anderson, Wood, Reinders, Dubravka, Sells, play 3. Reinders, Anderson. Oh. Reinders and Anderson probably. No, Reinders and Wood. And then probably Sells. Who do I captain? Salah or Salah? It's always going to be Salah. Who would you change then for 0.1 million in the bank? Chris Wood, Evan Nilsson, probably. I think. 45 months, by the way, thinking. Dewsbury Hall after wildcard, classic rock and roll. I don't know about that. Play Anderson, Forrest, or Thiago. Probably Thiago. If Watkins, Rodgers blank again, having also Larson, should I look to wildcard? Well, if Watkins and Rodgers blank, they go straight into Sunderland, so you're not going to want to wildcard them out, I don't think. Trust me, I'm wildcarding Verts out this week, and it already feels absolutely horrible, to be honest with you. Nope, not muted, just not talking. Or you've muted your stream, maybe. Looking. I think I've got to go. I think I just prefer this team. I just don't know what I'm going to do with the money. But then maybe I don't need to worry about the money right now. Maybe I just leave that for a rainy day. 0.7 in the bank with this team. Oh, I don't know. Evan, is it? I wish Brentford had better fixtures. Like picking Thiago would just be. It'd be so much easier to pick Thiago, and just go for Munoz and Semenyo. Do you enjoy streaming or making videos more? They've both got pros and cons, to be honest. Not trying to sit on the fence, but they've both got pros and cons. I have 4 million in the bank on my wildcard. Really? Well, you'll probably want Haaland, right? I'm guessing that's what you're looking for. Why don't you try Munoz and Richards? Yeah, I think Lacroix is just in for me. I don't think that's going to change, to be honest with you. Yeah. I think Lacroix is just a good price at 5 million. Will you cancel a knee jerk if Verts gets a hat trick? No, of course not. Eze van der Ven, I mean, it would be rubbish, but I would still do it. Eze van der Ven or Madueke Romero on wildcard. Eze and van der Ven, I guess. Roll transfers and risk Palmer, Anderson in the bench slot, or transfer Palmer to Semenyo or anyone else for that matter. I'll be tempted to sell him. I'm not quite as convinced as everyone else that he's going to start, but yeah, I'm not convinced he's going to start. What was I going to check then? I was thinking about whether someone in particular was going to. Let's have a look. No Arsenal news, I don't think. I don't know if this is the best team, you know. I really don't. I feel like I should have Thiago and then use the money elsewhere. But if I go for Thiago instead of Evan Nilsson, I've got 1.7 million to upgrade Dewsbury Hall. But I kind of want to keep some of those positions as they are. Triple Bournemouth out of nowhere. Mad. I can do Lequard to Minoz. That is true. That is true. But maybe that money will be useful one day. $1.7 million. Could even stick Gabriel. No. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing now. I don't know what I'm doing. Oscar Bob. No, come on. Take a hit for Sarah or play Dango Utara. Probably just play Utara. Munoz is fine. Grealish, I probably wouldn't go for Grealish on wildcard personally, but you know, lots of people do like him right now. On free hit, Elanga or Barnes? Probably Barnes. Why Lequire over Gay in the form he's in? Is Gay in form? I mean, Lequire's got more. I don't get that. I mean, he scored a goal for England. I don't think that necessarily means he scores more FPL points. Free hit, Pope, Calafiori, Munoz, Van Dijk, Salah, Barnes, Eze, Wirtz, Gyökeres, Jidlu. Would Xavi be too much of a punt instead of Wirtz? I would go Wirtz, I think. Even if I knew Xavi Simons was definitely starting for 80 minutes, I think I'd probably just go for Wirtz. But that's just me. That Wirtz will get a return this week, honestly. Nico Williams out for Livramento, Lequire. 1 free transfer. Watkins, Wood, Strand Larson, 0.1 in the bank. Mateta will save. Probably save. I don't hate Wood to Mateta either. Sarr to Semenyo and Dorgu to Minoz or Stev to Lequire -4. I'd probably go the Munoz and Semenyo. Ekatike instead of Gyökeres for just 2 to 3 rounds. I just don't want to put that transfer in, but you could do it if you want to. Gakpo or Wirtz this week. Maybe Wirtz because his ownership's probably lower, but I quite like Gakpo. Quite like Gakpo. Why not 3 Liverpool? I just longer term minutes risk, right? Sartapino, or who would I go with 6.5 in the bank? Matoma maybe, or go cheaper like Reinders, Paquetá. Something like that. Right, 13 minutes. I think I'm possibly just on this now. Nav, I'm not sure I did miss it, but maybe I did. Oh yeah, I just did it there. You take some kind of commission for owning Fernandez. Nope. Are you going to free hit 6? Yeah, probably. Free hit Raya or Pope. Already got Gabriel. Raya. Best replacement for Palmer, got 3 transfers less. Semenyo probably one of the better options. Why so keen on Gyökeres? I'm not really that keen on him, to be honest with you. But, you know, is what it is. It is what it is. Can you do Dewsbury Hall to King and Evan Nielsen to João Pedro? I'm not getting João Pedro at this point, honestly. João Pedro's not going to make the team. I probably... Oh my God. Rogers, Gakpo, Gibbs, White, Palmer, Bruno, Watkins, Thiago, João Pedro, 2 free transfers and 1 million. But what's the question? That's so jumbled up. Like, what is the question? Thoughts on bench boost to get it used? Have Dubravka, Konza, Guiu, and Van de Ven. Is that bench not better next week though? Like Konza will have Sunderland, Dubravka will have Forest. Guiu slightly worse, but he's probably not going to play much anyway. 5 months, thank you. Start Rodgers or Reinders? Probably Rodgers, but that's quite close. Start Juve or Nico Williams. Juve. Playing Jai or Giu. 6.2 million could upgrade. Yeah, I'd be tempted to make an upgrade. Giu to someone probably. Just keeping Jai for now. Should I start João Pedro or Senesi? João Pedro, come on. Come on. You could get in Burmo João Pedro instead of Bruno Evanilson. I could, yeah. Should I transfer in Jai out if I can't bench him? Maybe, depending on who you can buy. I'd consider it, yeah. I think, oh my God, I think I'm going to stick to this team, but I'm not, I'm really not 100% sure about it now. This is the problem. We're at panic stations now. We're at panic stations. I wouldn't put any more super chats in, by the way. Am I watching Canelo versus Crawford? No, no chance. Not a big boxing fan, which I assume that is what that is. Start Wood, Long Journey, Anderson or Van der Ven. Chris Wood, I think. I think you're probably. I don't know. I guess if you are worried about the minutes, which maybe you should be, then Anderson. Defcons against Arsenal. Due to price drops, tactically, is it better to transfer out Cunha or Marmoush? Marmoush presumably is going to drop first, so I guess him. Yeah, I'm also not keen on Evan Nielsen. The problem is I don't really have a good way that I can get to João Pedro, actually. That's a lie. I can get to João Pedro. But outside of that, I'm not really sure where I go, which is the problem. Also, I really need to pee. Just thought I'd let you know that. I'm going to have to hold out for 10 more minutes. Thiago, João Pedro, and Gyökeres. With Thiago, I get 1.5 in the bank. Might upgrade Gyökeres to Isak in the future. Okay. I'm not really sure what the question is, but I don't... Is that wildcard maybe? In which case, sure. Yeah, Munoz I think is better than Aqua, but maybe those funds are just useful later on. I don't know. If I were you, I'd honestly start Senesi over Fernandez. Luckily, you're not me. You can do that for your own team, but there's no way I'm going to do that. Leave Ekatike for Burnley or bring Haaland in for him this week. I'd probably leave him in. Voltemada instead of Evan Nielsen. Yeah, that punt does sound quite nice to me. But it is just a punt though, isn't it? That's the problem. Why is Bruno there? He's just a fairly good pick. Guy to Wood, Milenkovic to Senesi, Konate, or I wouldn't do Guy to Wood. I'd go Guy to like Mateta or João Pedro probably. Paquetá not starting. He probably is starting, I would say. Elanga's apparently not starting according to FPL Raptor, but I don't know if that... I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but... Could I go for a last-minute punt on Voltemada? The thing is... It'd be much better if we knew how long Vissa was out for. Can I have one fun pick? Voltemada in? I don't know if I'm allowed any fun picks, you know. Not on wildcard. The problem with Voltemada is just not really knowing like what's going on with Vissa. Like if we knew that Vissa was like definitely out or something, like for a long time, like he's having to see a knee specialist, but as soon as Vissa's back, Voltemada just becomes a problem, right? Yeah, can't go for fun picks. Just Wood need change. Yeah, Wood is probably the one player that I would think about changing. I mean, I'm not really I can't change your whole team. Otherwise, I'd just be changing it to my team, wouldn't I? Who are your best mates in the FPL world? I don't know. Probably Luke and Az are probably the two that I've chatted to the most and met the most. I think Luke and Az, I would say. I was gonna say I don't have any best mates in the FPL world. Really, I don't really see anyone that often or ever. Not consider Watkins for 2 fixtures than transfer. Yes, you could consider that. Your team is worse. Thank you. This man has several teams. Honestly, I love conspiracy theorists. They're so funny. I don't know, how do people have time to be conspiracy theorists, honestly? Remember when Speed joined the chat? I don't think he ever joined the chat, did he? If he did, then that answers your question, because no, I don't remember. Bruno Fernandes, Dewsbury, and Yorkresh already fun enough. Bruno Fernandes is fun, yeah. Yorkresh had 0 XG last game and only looked decent against Leeds. So he's good in good fixtures then, is what you're saying. FPL isn't fun, it's 90 minutes and penalties. That is true. That is true. Yeah, KSI did, not Semenyo. I'm not going to go for Voltemade. It's just, if we knew Vissa was out for like 6 months or something, then I probably would. I'm gonna hate this team next week. I'm just gonna hate it. I can already tell. I'm just gonna hate it. Doesn't everyone have 2 teams, a serious one and one to mess around? I've got 1 team. I've always had 1 team. I always will have 1 team. I can't be bothered to think about. It's bad enough thinking about 1 team. Imagine if I have to think about 2. Would you rather on free hit Barnes or Enzo or Grealish? Barnes probably. The team is a bit bland. That's a good thing, I think. My wildcard team is Petrovic, Senesi, Richards, Konza, Salah, Kudus, Paquetá, Gakpo, Mateta, João Pedro, Haaland, King, Reinders, Goodmanson on the bench, 1.2 in the bank. Plan is Isak in for João Pedro, by downgrading Gakpo. Yeah, I was going to say, as I was reading through your team, I knew Haaland and Salah was coming. So I think for that kind of draft, it's good if you want both those players. Your team is so basic. Thank you very much. Ekatike or Yorkresh? Yeah, Yorkresh, I think. Quinn, apologies if I missed it. I'll try and find it. But I just wouldn't put any more super chats in now because things going to get... Oh, would you sell Salah to Haaland in 6? Probably, yeah. Best replacement. I guess we'll just decide in 6, but maybe like in Burma or something like that. Fernandez. Who are you benching this week? Dewsbury Hall. I think so, yeah. Sounds a bit rubbish though, doesn't it? Dewsbury Hall, especially after his 12-pointer last week. How do I not have Munoz, honestly? Especially on free hit 6. I just don't think I can go Thiago. Verts is going to cook, yeah, probably. You never sell me on João Pedro, honestly. He's good, but I'm probably not going to go. I could go for him though with this team. I've literally got the money. Van der Ven or Konza to start? Konza, I think. I don't know actually now. Probably Van der Ven. Minar's essential. I don't think he's essential. Cheers, thank you. Okay, no more super chats now. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna figure out whether I'm putting Munoz in. And whether I'm actually happy in this team with this team in the slightest. Probably not. I don't know how useful. I don't know how useful Munoz is later on. Honestly, I'll tell you what. Evan Nielsen's just very. I do like the fixtures. I really do like the fixtures for Bournemouth. 2 minutes to go to the deadline, by the way. So I could do that. I could. I think I'm going to end up on this team. I haven't made any money on these players. I'm just gonna put this down for a second because if I'm just gonna put that in now because otherwise I'll forget in a minute. And I don't want to like be scrambling. Who's my vice captains? Yeah. By the way, that team might change. That team might change. Yeah, that team. Hang on a second. I'm thinking about Thiago still. I'm reviewing the fixtures for Thiago again. Thiago Munoz I mean, I could go 4-4-2 this week. I could go 4-4-2. Free hit 6. Maybe Thiago's okay, you know. Thiago Munoz instead of Evan Nielsen and Goodmanson. Oh, shite. I've only got... Oh, now I've sworn as well. I haven't got very long to figure this out. I think I'm gonna have to stick. I don't know about that. I kind of want Munoz. Yeah, bad language. I might go Thiago. I wonder if I can do it in time. I might go. Oh, no, I'm going to stick. I've got to stick. I've stuck. I'm not going Munoz. Oh, I can't believe I haven't got Munoz. How have I ended up with Evan Nielsen? This is going to sting so much. I can tell already. I had the whole international break. Yeah, I didn't want to spend the whole international break thinking about FPL, you know? No Munoz. That's going to hurt. I can't believe I haven't got Munoz either. I cannot believe it. Brentford's fixtures are quite poor, yeah. Yeah. It's only 2 players different from my wildcard team. Well, I know one of those players is definitely going to be João Pedro. Maybe this is what wins me FPL. Maybe this is what kills my season. That team needs a wildcard. Classic. Right. I don't know if I've got that much regret. I think I've got regret maybe over Munoz. It was easy Munoz over Van... No. I was never going to go Munoz over Van Dijk. That was never a consideration. I could have done Munoz over Lacroix. I've got 0.7 in the bank with this team. Can't believe I've gone with double Bournemouth attack. I don't know why it's so surprising. Everyone loves Semenyo. Presumably because he's good and he's got the fixtures. So why is a second Bournemouth attacker a problem? Bruno and Evan Nielsen versus João Pedro and Harvey Elliott. Oof. That's the only... Oh, you've got 4 million in the bank there because you want to get Haaland, I'd say. Whereas I'm going to free hit him. I feel like maybe I should have gone the Thiago route, but what's done is done. I don't feel too, but I'm quite glad I've got Semenyo instead of Matoma. Let me say that. Is it better? So basically, the attacking differences compared to what my team would have been if I'd done Sarr to Semenyo is Paquetá versus Dewsbury Hall. But obviously I could have played Dewsbury Hall, so that's not even that much of a difference. I've got Dewsbury Hall in this team. Gyökeres versus Wirtz and Evan Nielsen versus Watkins. Oof. You're not free hit 6 with 3 Bournemouth. Yeah, I know. I might have left myself in a position where I don't need to free hit 6, but do you know what? Might not be the worst thing. The only annoying thing is now I haven't committed to free hit 6, in which case it's going to give me another headache when I get there. I'll see. You should have gone for a Langer. No chance. No chance. Thank you very much for joining me. If you did enjoy that stream, make sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button. Hopefully I can get into the top 4 million this season. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Is Enjoy starting? I got no idea. Hopefully your crash starts. I might watch that game at 12:30. I got some stuff to do now, though. I'm going to go and clean the bathroom. I got to put the dishwasher on. I got to hang the clothes out. Got lots of exciting things to do on my Saturday. So yeah. When is, by the way, no, I've just said that. When are Bournemouth actually playing? Bournemouth are playing 3 o'clock. It's not on TV. It's Newcastle Wolves on TV. Annoying. You have never owned Paquetá before. He's always been bad in FPL. Not sure what has changed. I'm just an idiot. Right. Thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you on the knee-jerk stream tomorrow where it could be misery. I'll see you then.